that the Industrial Revolution wasn't just driven by sweat and toil, but by brains. There was Brunel and his suspension bridge, James Watt and his steam engine. But behind these towering geniuses lies another worse job. Those inventors who dedicated their whole lives to devices that never saw the light of day. Basically, because they were complete rubbish. Like James Boyle and his ingeniously polite saluting device, a cunning mechanism that meant if you had a budgie cage in one hand and a pound of sausages in the other, you could still tip your hat to a lady. Equally futile, the deliverance coffin. If Auntie Flo wasn't quite dead when you buried her, one movement would send a spring-loaded mop shooting out of the 6-foot pipe to alert passers-by. But there was a job worse than the people who invented rubbish. It was the bloke who invented something brilliant and never got the credit for it. This is Cromford Mill in Derbyshire. It was here that Richard Arkwright first used his water frame. This revolutionary device enabled cotton to be spun on an industrial scale. Arkwright's machine transformed production and assured his place in industrial history. The only problem was, it wasn't his invention. He'd pinched the idea from an inventor called Thomas Hayes, who developed the water frame with his partner John Kay, but had been too poor to be able to afford a patent. Arkwright's only contribution to technology was to buy a few rounds of drinks, which he poured down John Kay until the poor bloke was so sozzled that he blurted out the secrets of this wonderful invention. Arkwright went on to patent it and installed a water frame here in this factory. Not only that, but he sold the idea to mill owners throughout the country. Hayes eventually took him to court and he won, but by then it was too late. Arkwright had made his millions, and Hayes died a forgotten nobody.
Greece is the next stop on Drive-Thru History.
Victorian Britain didn't have time for losers. This was an age of self-confidence. In 1851, to show that the UK led the world, we put on the Great Exhibition. The country's finest technology was displayed in the purpose-built Crystal Palace. It was architecture designed to awe. The architect Paxton got all the plaudits, but the Crystal Palace was a giant kit of parts prepared with extreme skill and a lot of puff. In fact, there were 293,655 panes of glass in the original structure, which meant an awful lot of work for the glass blower. Paxton's plans gave glassblowers their ultimate challenge. They were already working to capacity. The Victorian building boom meant a huge demand for windows. Every single one had to be blown into a cylinder, then flattened into a sheet. But Paxton went further. He pushed technology to the limit and demanded the largest panes of glass ever blown. Working flat out in conditions of extreme heat meant mistakes were bound to happen. Glassmakers were a tight-knit bunch. Accidents were rarely recorded. But as glass is heated to 1200 degrees to work, even the briefest of contact causes third-degree burns. Right, what do I do, Andrew?
OK, hold the stick.
Yeah.
Put your hand quite in close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to be pulling away. Just watch it. You don't want it to fold in on itself. You want it to come out.
No, backhand down?
No, backhand down.
Right.
And then as it gets there, then just straight.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Don't worry about the heat. If you can feel something, you're doing it right. If you can't feel anything, you burn your hand off. And if you do feel heat, just dip it in water afterwards.
Oh,
OK, in you go.
Right.
Right up close to it. In you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Pull it up.
Hey, that's good.
There you go. Yeah?
Oh, I enjoyed that.
Can you feel the heat on your hand?
Yeah, not half.
It's still there then.
It was wet a minute ago, now it's still wet. That's the easy bit done. The glass cylinders are then cooled and cut lengthways with a diamond cutter. Then they're blasted again. Working in the heat of the furnace, the glass blowers have to flatten them into a sheet. This is my big moment. What do I do?
Just ease it up.
Yeah, it's gone down that way,
That one will fall out on its side. Just pick that one up front. As it is. Don't let it fall down.
That's good, that's it.
Oh, no,
And then try and get that.
Sugar.
That's not too bad, that's good. Oh,
Hey.
well saved.
Okay, so what we do now is we put this one away.
Yeah.
And we get the large block of wood. And we just run it over the glass until you get it flat.
I really feel it here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Does it matter that I've set the pusher thing on fire?
No, oh no, not at all. It's wood, it's meant to burn.
There are only another 363,654 or whatever it is, and we built the entire Crystal Palace. I'm going for a beer.